thoughts after quite a one-sided affair perhaps today?
Well, I think that the overall game, I think it's kind of like the game, but the fact is we've lost 4-0 and in a really big game for us. And you can talk about the last hour, as what we did, but I'm not bothered about that. I'm bothered about the first half hour, which was completely unacceptable from our perspective in terms of our defending as a team, not necessarily individually, as a team. We had a 35-minute performance that in any game at Step 4 you'll lose the game if you play like that for 35 minutes. And they punish it. Doesn't matter whether they're top or bottom. If you are as open as we were for those 35 minutes, you will get punished. And I think for 3 games we've talked a lot about being solid, and you've seen 2 games down here where we've been nice and compact, nice and solid. The Loughborough game last week we were really solid, kept a clean sheet where we were very disciplined. We were none of those things today. Didn't win first balls, didn't win second balls, didn't hit tackles hard enough, and we're just massively open, and it's a real disappointment. It's come on a massive day for us.
Since that goal, well, the first goal anyway, and the handball, do you think that could have played a part? I mean, if that handball was given, could that have set you on your way?
Well, I think in these games I actually thought the scoreline would be fairly tight, and the first goal was always going to be important. I think they in tight games, you get the first one, it gives you a bit of an advantage, particularly if you're not used to winning. And the refs missed a penalty and they got the other end, but there's no point moaning about that because we've conceded 4 goals. So there's no... I can only talk about things I can influence, and I can influence our shape and the way we defend, and today that was unacceptable.
Was it because they were expecting to win?
Well, we've said for a while that actually the confidence has started to rise, and they felt this was a game. Well, we all felt. I'm not just putting on the players. This is us as a management team as well. We felt this was an opportunity for us to go and get a win, go and get more points, go and put some distance between us, and go 3 unbeaten. And I thought we probably had a good start. We probably got a little bit open because we were looking to try and attack, and then they scored, and our reaction to the goal wasn't great. And then I think as soon as you went 2-0 behind, then the old lacking in confidence, people making mistakes, people not keeping the football. When you're used to losing, and over the course of the season we've obviously lost a lot of games, then it comes back to haunt you, and that's what happened. We had, like I said, the boys will watch that first 35 minutes because they need to see what happens if you're not at it, and this you get punished, really badly punished. So I think we felt, yes, it was an opportunity for a win, and yes, it was an opportunity to get further up the league, but you can't turn up and be like we were, and as the game went on and they sat back in and played some decent football, but like I said, there's no point in me commenting on the last hour because if we play like that in any of the remaining 9 games for the first half hour of the game, we won't be getting points from them.
Could anyone have been substituted, was it?
Yeah, I feel sorry for Marsh and Leighton because I don't know that there's anybody on the pitch that, we made changes after 30 minutes, 35 minutes. I never do that. But that's where I felt we were. We couldn't just carry on what we're doing. To be fair to Groves, he went on and did what we signed him to do, and he showed a bit of character about him. But like I said, at 35 minutes we were, what can we do? And you hope they'll take a little bit of responsibility. We needed them to get higher up the pitch. We didn't do that. We left big gaps, and the midfield weren't getting close enough to them because of those gaps. So they needed to take some responsibility, and they didn't. And so we were forced into making changes to make that happen. And you hope that we could do that as the game goes on. I just said to him in there, if it's tough, you do have to maybe consolidate a little bit. We didn't do that today, and maybe because there was a bit of an expectation that we would win the game today. But it sounds harsh. I do believe in these players, but we're not good enough or confident yet to say we'll just turn up and play. And as soon as we looked like we thought we were going to do that, we got punished today. And that's a tough lesson. A half hour in, I was as embarrassed as I've been for a while because everything we've done, everything we've worked on, we worked here in the week about defensive shape, and they were brilliant at it. And then you come on a Saturday and that happens. So we've got to work harder, and it's not just them in there, it's me here. And I've said to them, they've got to decide as players, 9 games left, do they want to be part of a scrap and a fight, because that's what it is. Don't think we're going to have games now we're just going to play open, expansive football, because we've proved we can't today. So are they prepared for a fight? Are they prepared for a scrap? Because today you realise if you're not, you're going to get on the end of a bad result, and we can't afford bad results.
Do you think that second half response, though, which was quite pleasing on the eye, do you think that could help your side in that potential relegation scrap heading into nine games?
I think when the emotion, the frustration goes, you may take some positives to that, but right now it was that bad. And when you're 4-0 up, the other side sit in, so you can take the boys can take the reaction at half time and all that. I'm not interested in that now because we're hurting and it's tough to take, and it's that first 35 is tough to take. So what happens after it? Yeah, we'll look at that another point. But we've got to address the first half out. Can't worry about what happens when you're 4-0 down. You have to worry about stopping getting into that situation.
You said you want them to see the first 35 minutes, but will they have a chance? I mean, you've hopefully got a game on Tuesday.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see how things go over the next few weeks. We won't have the chance to do it before Tuesday, and the fact is Tuesday we play a very good side, and if we're open like that, we'll get punished more than we did do today. So we have to go back to what we did the first few games, and we have to show. Look, I've said to them, I couldn't question their character. From the minute I walked to the door, for the first time today, I felt like there was a few of them that I needed them to pull together in a difficult time. But that's a bit of confidence, because second half the pressure's off because the game was gone. We said at half time, score one early, you never know. But as soon as we didn't and they sat in, the pressure's off, then we played okay. But when the pressure's on and your confidence is fragile, that's what can happen. And we knew there was potential for that to happen at some point when we were relaxed in the game. We just hoped it wasn't today, and it was today. Actually, we're 35 minutes in, for anybody who came, that's the worst nightmare, that you suddenly have a bad day like that in that game. And they probably had 4 chances to score them all. But that's football. There's no point moaning about that, because you look at over the 90 minutes, we probably had 8, 9 chances. They had 4. Did they deserve to win the game? Yeah, 100%. Because we collapsed at a time we couldn't collapse. So.